What is going on, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? My name is Vinny Vega, and today I got a PC build for you guys. This build is aimed at people that have a $2,000 budget and do not want any compromises whatsoever. This is including gaming and also video editing, rendering. This PC will be able to handle all the above. Now to start things off with the CPU, this is the i7-6700K, coming with of course the Skylake architecture. This is clocked at 4 GHz base clock and a turbo boost of 4.2 GHz. But of course you can overclock it further than that. This is a quad core CPU and also has hyper-threading as well. This is going for $375. However, I have seen it for $350 and sometimes a little bit less in certain sites, so definitely search out for those deals. Unfortunately, it does not come with a CPU cooler, which is a bit of a bummer, but at the same time, you really don't want a stock CPU cooler for this anyway since you're overclocking. Even if you're not overclocking, you still want an aftermarket cooler. So for the CPU cooler, I chose the Corsair H100i GTX. This is liquid cooling. This is an all-in-one cooler and it's also got very good ratings. The only thing I hear people complain about really is the fans, but you can always switch out the fans for something else that's a little bit more noise friendly for you. And you can get this CPU cooler for $110. Moving on to the motherboard, I went with the Asus Sabertooth Z170 Mark I. This is a beefy motherboard, and this is also military grade tested, which means they put this thing through the ringer as far as temperatures and durability tests. And some people may find that the cover on the front of this is a little bit tacky, but others might find this to be very nice. And the price for $230 is a little steep, but considering all the features involved, it's not a bad motherboard in any means whatsoever. It comes with Crossfire SLI support, onboard USB 3.0 headers, M.2 support, RAID support, 4 SATA 6 ports, 2 SATA Express ports. It also supports up to 64 gigs of DDR4 memory as well. And that cover does add extra stability for those heavier graphics cards. For the RAM, 16 gigabytes of Corsair Vengeance DDR4 for $80. This is a really good price for DDR4 memory, especially for 16 gigabytes. This is 2 sticks of 8 gigabytes apiece. DDR4 memory has come down to this point to basically the same as DDR3 memory as far as price point goes. Even though in most cases 8 gigabytes of RAM is more than enough to handle most workloads, 16 gigabytes gives you that extra buffer and you still have room to add more RAM to your build. That could be an upgrade sometime in the future. For storage, I went with a SSD and a mechanical drive as well. The reason why I didn't go with a M.2 drive is because they're super expensive right now, and it just didn't make sense to put it in this build at the moment, but that can be one of your upgrades sometime in the future. So for the boot drive, I went with a Samsung 850 EVO 500 gigabyte SSD for $150. $150 is an excellent price for 500 gigs of SSD storage. This will be more than enough room to put your key applications on it, your OS of course, and you can put some of your favorite games on there, making load times almost non-existent. For mass storage, I went with a Western Digital Black 2TB mechanical drive for $120. Now this is still a very reliable mechanical hard drive, and at 7200 RPMs and 64 cache, it'll still be plenty fast. Not as fast as the SSD of course, but it will still run pretty fast compared to other hard drives that you can get for mechanical. For the GPU, the Zotac GTX 980 Ti Amp Extreme Edition for $650. Just a sick looking aftermarket cooler on this, and the base clock is not too shabby as well at 1.25 GHz. This also has 6 gigs of VRAM, giving you plenty of room for any game that you're going to throw at it. This is just a beast graphics cards all around. For connectivity, it has a DVI port, 3 display ports, and 1 HDMI port. With this GPU coupled with the 6700K, you're going to be able to do 1440p gaming no problem, even 4K gaming as well. There's always going to be those anomalies in gaming, whether it's just a bad port or it just won't run on any machine, doesn't matter what it is. But other than that, you will destroy just about every game, especially in 1080p gaming. For the power supply, the EVGA Supernova, this is a 650 watt power supply, 80 plus platinum for $90, and it's fully modular as well. This is just a sick price for a platinum certified power supply. This is something that you don't see too often, and 650 watts is plenty for the system. Now, of course, you're going to need more wattage if you plan on SLI in the 980 Ti, but I don't quite agree with SLI just because of all the negatives that come along with it. It seems that there's more negatives than positives when it comes to dual graphics cards. For the case, the Define S from Fractal Design for $90. And I got the windowed version here for you too. The windowless version is $10 cheaper if you want to go for that, but I'm sure most of you want to show off your parts, so I got the windowed version in this build. The only downside to the window in this case is it's pretty sensitive. Like, you'll be able to scratch it very easily even with fingernails. Fingernails are OP, by the way. But other than that, this is an excellent case. Not only this case will be easy to build with, but you'll also have water cooling support as well, like up the wazoo. Like if you want to add a pump and reservoir later on to water cool your 980 Ti, go for it because this case is made for it. It also has that low profile mounting for the hard drives and SSDs in the back. You can fit 3 mechanical drives and 2 SSDs. The sound dampened material inside this case makes things nice and quiet as well. And you can even mount the all-in-one cooler in the front instead of on the top if you want it to be that much more quieter. Considering all the features involved with the Define S, $90 is just a win-win all around. Just a sick all-around gaming PC that will give you great performance for years to come. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, go ahead and leave that down in the comment section down below. Don't forget to rate this video, subscribe if you haven't already. As always, hope you guys have a badass day today, and I'll see ya on the next one.